live in high definition. This is Western New York's news leader. Now, News 4's Wake Up.
We're delighted to approve them, and I think they'll be great for Buffalo.
The NFL owners are ready to welcome Kim and Terry Pegula to their club. We're live in New York City this morning to kick off a new era of Buffalo Bills football.
And an experimental drug may be the only thing that can save this man. He's an American infected with Ebola, and he's losing the fight.
A new phase in the Lockport budget battle. Are more cuts on the way to the cash-strapped city?
Also, we're live at the future site of Buffalo Children's Hospital. Today, crews will break ground on this multi-million-dollar project. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for waking up with us on a big Wednesday morning in Western New York.
Yeah, Kim and Terry Pegula, I swapped their letters of their
first
first
in the 50s. Let's see how traffic is moving right now. Here's Lauren Hall.
All right, thanks, Tad. It looks like early morning commuters are in for another nice morning sunrise. More construction alerts you'll want to know about before taking off today. Jordan?
Lauren, thank you. Months of build-up, speculation, and ultimately celebration about the future of the Bills have all led to today. The NFL owners now in New York City to approve the newest members of their club.
We're talking about billionaires Kim and Terry Pegula. Before today's vote, we want to give you a quick look at how we got to this point. Ralph Wilson Jr., the only owner the Bills have ever had, died on March 25th. Soon a bidding war for the team started, with the Pegulas among several groups that submitted non-binding bids in July.
Okay, so fast forward, September 8th, they submitted their final bid, $1.4 billion, the highest price ever for an NFL team. The Wilson Trust approved it the next day. And today, we expect 30 NFL owners to do the same.
News 4 Sports Director Steve Vesey joins us live from New York City this morning to preview this big vote. Good morning, Steve.
Yeah, after years of wondering and months of waiting, Bills fans about to be able to breathe that sigh of relief they've all been waiting for. Owners will vote later on this morning to approve Terry and Kim Pegula as the next happen for the Bills. Terry and Kim Pegula on the verge of taking over the team in an official manner. They will be considered the owners today in terms of purposes of having a voice in the meeting, but everything won't go through. I mean, remember, this is a $1.4 billion transaction. You can't just drop a check in and say, that's it. Take a day or two. Should be wrapped up at the latest by Friday. Live in Manhattan, Steve Vesey, News 4 Sports.
Steve, thank you. And again, the Pegulas will make history today. Ralph Wilson bought the Bills for $25,000 in 1959. Lest we forget that. Well, today the team is expected to go to the Pegulas for that record $1.4 billion.
Quite the profit margin there. You can follow Steve on Twitter for updates on the Pegulas' big day. His handle is @SteveVC4.
And make sure you stay with News 4 all day. We're going to break into programming this morning when the deal is done. We'll also keep you up to date at WIVB.com.
Let's talk about the action on the field. The NFL is investigating those claims that someone in the stands pointed a laser at Bills players during Sunday's game in Detroit. Kicker Dan Carpenter complained to referees after missing a field goal. Quarterback Kyle Orton did the same thing after missing a pass. A league spokesperson says the NFL is looking into it.
Happening today, it's the first step toward turning these photos into reality. Today's the groundbreaking for the new John Oshai Children's Hospital.
The hospital will be here on Ellicott and High Streets in Buffalo. It will replace the current Women and Children's Hospital, which is over on Bryant.
We're talking about a $270 million Kaleida Health project that's been in the works for months.
News 4's Brittany Smallwood joins us live this morning at the future site of the hospital. We know you have a special guest with you this morning, Brittany.
I do have a special guest with me this morning. I'm joined with Allegra Jaro. She's the president of the Women and Children's Hospital. Allegra, thank you so much for joining us so early this morning. Good morning. So this area used to be a parking lot. It's going to be transformed into the John Oshai.
So there'll be just collaboration throughout the entire building and easy communication, which of course will benefit the care of patients.
Thank you so much, Allegra. We're going to have her during the next half hour to talk to us about a lot more in regards to the new Children's Hospital, especially the fact that they even have new private rooms in the NICU. So we'll have much more for you throughout the morning. Stay with us. Reporting live in Buffalo, Brittany Smallwood, News 4.
An exciting day there as well. Brittany, thank you. It is 6:07 now. Police in Niagara County say more women are coming forward claiming they were victims of a man named Ivor Phelan. Phelan faced a judge last night in Lewiston with shackles around his wrists and ankles. Prosecutors say he tortured and kidnapped a woman from Buffalo, then he met at a gentleman's club. Since his arrest, other women have also come forward claiming he abused them. Phelan's case is moving now to Niagara County Court. He could enter a plea today.
We're just into the case now, so I haven't had an opportunity to speak to him about the circumstances and the charges against him.
Phelan is a 67-year-old married with a child. He also has a home in Florida, and police are looking into any possible abuse allegations there as well.
This man that you're about to see, Barry Hollis, is guilty of abusing an 8-year-old girl at Fantasy Island over the summer. Erie County DA Frank Sedita had some strong words for this 36-year-old in court.
He's a pervert, a degenerate. Some poor girl who had been victimized by him saw that he had been arrested on another matter, that she wasn't alone in the world, and that she came forward, and we were able to get justice on her behalf as well.
That second girl that Sedita mentioned came forward after she saw Hollis on the news. Hollis admitted to raping her at Woodlawn Beach last year. He could get anywhere from 10 years probation to 14 years in prison. Sedita says his office will push for prison time.
The budget crisis in Lockport will continue for the cash-strapped city today. This is a battle that's turned people against their government.
That's all they've done is lie to us. And I think it's about time the whole bunch of this council goes, mayor included.
City leaders have already made budget cuts and will discuss more today. This is all part of the effort to get out of a $4.5 million hole.
The former mayor of Lockport has called this the worst budget crisis the city has faced in 40 years.
Yeah, the city council will hold a special vote tonight to try and stop the bleeding. News 4's Nalina Shapiro joins us now. Nalina, what will this vote accomplish?
Well, they're going to vote on more potential job cuts today, and we expect the mayor to reveal today who else could lose their jobs to help the city close that huge budget hole. The city has already begun slimming down the city's stops on fund balance to finance operations. Reporting live, Nalina Shapiro, News 4 Wake Up.
The U.S. is continuing its war against ISIS militants in the Middle East this morning, and now the FBI wants your help in the battle.
And we're here with the soldiers of Bashar. This is the end that they face.
The FBI wants to know, who is this man? Coming up, find out how you can help bring the terrorist to justice.
And then on a collision course, a truck stuck in one of the last places you'd want to be in the path of that oncoming train. We'll show you what happened next.
Then at 6:30, a single day. That's all a woman says she needs to round up every cat on Tonawanda Island. Find out why Operation Island Cats has the go-ahead this morning.
Yeah, we're talking about a breezy and cool day for your Wednesday. We're also keeping a close eye outside for that lunar eclipse. We'll talk more about that coming up. I know at least a few of you can see it this morning. Winds out of the west to the southwest going to be gusty. You could see some gusts upwards of 40 miles per hour. We'll detail the forecast and look for the few areas of rain coming up.
At 6:45, we've got your morning rush, 15 minutes, nonstop commercial-free news, traffic, and weather together. Before you go, your time right now, 6:11.
From Kenmore to Hamburg, covering all Western New York. This is News 4. We're for Buffalo.
6:14 now, and the FBI asking for all of our help to figure out who this masked man is. He's a member of ISIS, seen in the latest propaganda video released by the terrorist group. He speaks in both English and Arabic, but seems to have a North American accent. The FBI posted the clip, hoping somebody will recognize his voice and appearance. It's part of the effort to track Americans who have gone overseas to help ISIS.
Officials worldwide are considering ways to fight the Ebola outbreak ravaging West Africa and now spreading into Europe. This comes as the first person diagnosed with Ebola on U.S. soil is in serious condition. Thomas Eric Duncan is receiving an experimental drug to help save his life. He's on a ventilator at a Texas hospital and is getting kidney dialysis. Health officials are monitoring about 50 people who had direct or indirect contact with Duncan after he came down with the virus late last month. According to the CDC, infected people can show signs of the virus 8 to 10 days after exposure.
Each and every one of them is having their temperature monitored. As of today, none of them are sick, none of them has a fever. We'll continue to watch that very closely.
White House officials say they will announce new screening measures at airports in the next few days to curb the spread of Ebola.
Minnesota Vikings star Adrian Peterson still on the sidelines, but today he will be back in the spotlight. He's expected in front of a Texas judge today. The NFL running back facing charges for child abuse. He's been suspended from the Vikings during this legal process. A Houston defense attorney says there's only one play Peterson should make today, and that is to plead not guilty and try to get to trial as soon as possible. Prosecutors have said a trial could be a year away. It'll be up to a judge to decide whether to move up the trial date.
For your money this morning, you might need to start saving up for your morning coffee. The Wall Street Journal reports the price of coffee beans has hit a 2-year high. Experts blame the dry weather and problems with crops in Brazil. According to the paper, though, big roasters like Starbucks have already fixed prices through 2015. Online retailer Amazon is under investigation this morning. The European Commission is looking into whether the company moved its money around to avoid paying higher taxes. Europe's top regulator believes the company has received state aid from Luxembourg over the last 10 years. Amazon officials deny those claims.
New video to share with you this morning of a terrible crash in Louisiana. It happened when a truck got stuck in the path of a freight train. Take a look.
Oh my God!
The truck's driver managed to get out right before the crash. The train's conductor and the engineer on that train were both seriously hurt. Investigators say there have been several accidents at this particular crossing. Union Pacific is working on a solution.
It is 6:17 on your Wednesday morning. We have Lauren Hall watching the roads for you. Good morning.
Hey, thanks a lot. No accidents to let you know about right now. It's been about 12 to 14 hours since the llast accident. See you back at 6:30 for a trip up north to Grand Island to check on the bridges. Back to you.
Well, right now we want to go outside our studios, if we can, here in North Buffalo, to look at the moon.
Wow.
In
that looks
8
good.
minutes at 6:25 this morning, a total lunar eclipse will turn the moon red for about an hour. This
can see that
happens
here a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It has kind of a red hue. Explain how this happens, Todd.
Well, it's as right now, it's getting closer also to the horizon. So similar to the way a sunset turns red, the distance the light is traveling through the Earth's atmosphere, puts that red hue in it. Now, keep in mind, that's a full moon. So that's the thing. If you looked at this, say, 45 minutes ago, I was looking outside when I first came in. You could see most, though by Monday, showers return to the area. So if you have a long weekend, you may want to plan around the chance for rain.
And if you're watching the backyard, we know every now and then you see a wild animal, a deer, something like that, wander through, right?
Sure.
I had a fox right in front of me on the way to work this morning. But anyway, so have you ever been and maybe seen something like this? I'm pausing because you got to see this. It can only happen in one part of the world. I'm sure you're guessing where. We've got more of the kangaroo fight coming up.
At 6:30, you are what you eat. That's what they say. And if you want a healthy love life, your diet can help. We're going to show you which foods will keep the romance burning. Unless you have lived next door to a zoo like the Philadelphia Zoo, you've probably never seen this. 2 kangaroos fighting it out. This happened right in the middle of a neighborhood in Australia. A man shot the video of 2 boomers, which are male kangaroos, fighting for dominance. And they don't seem to care that this is not their usual habitat. The man put this video online, and if you listen, you'll notice that he put the Nutcracker playing in the background.
Always better with Tchaikovsky.
I could just sit and watch this. That's impressive.
News 4 continues with forewarned weather, your most accurate source for local weather.
They can kind of rear up on their tail and drop a kick in there. All right, that's a wild shot for the morning. That should at least lighten things up. 6:20
news to get to this morning.
Yes, thank you very much, Todd. We appreciate that. Coming up at 6:30, we're going to follow the historic vote today to officially make Kim and Terry Pegula the new owners of the Bills. Steve Vesey will have another live report for you from New York City.
Plus, they have been detained for weeks, but could 3 Afghan soldiers caught trying to cross into Canada walk free today?
This year's SAT scores are out, and they show that most of the New York students are not ready for college. We're going to take a look at if this is a problem with the test or our state's education system.
And in just a few hours, Kaleida Health will break ground on the new John O'Shea Children's Hospital. We're live with the president next.
It's 6:30, and this is your wake-up call. I'm Jordan Williams.
I'm Teresa Weekly. Here's everything you need to know to start your day.
I couldn't be happier that the city realized that this was a real problem.
With the city on her side, this woman is ready to help the stray cats of Tonawanda Island.
Twitter takes on the government. The social media site is going after the Justice Department over your right to privacy.
And it's a big day for Children's Hospital. Coming up, we're going to speak with the hospital's president about the breaking ground today.
Will 3 Afghan soldiers be set free here or deported back home? You will hear what one soldier told us and could also say to the judge again today.
How are the roads looking for your early morning commute? I'm Lauren Hall with your Wake Up Traffic.
And we're finding at least a few light showers off the lake here and there. Also, the lunar eclipse underway. We'll take a closer look at that coming up.
Coming up right now, here's a live look outside for you. Outside our studios here in North Buffalo at the lunar eclipse happening right now. Beautiful out there, 6:31 for you this morning.